Hi, I'm Crypto Dummy, and this is Crypto for Dummies Like Me. Today, the truth about cryptocurrency. The truth is, in cryptocurrency, there are a lot of dodgy players and a lot of dodgy platforms out there. And for newcomers, it's very hard for these people to get incentivized when all they do is have numbers of people trying to rip them off. Numbers only go down. It's hard to get them to come on board until they can see money go up. And that's the truth of it. So today I'm just going to run you over what I know and what I've had to go through so you can understand. And I try to influence that into why I'm still here and why I'm still in cryptocurrency. I still believe in it. But for newcomers, they have to be so aware of all the dodgy stuff going on to protect themselves. This is just a part of being smart. And this is the reason why I call myself Crypto Dummy, because I had to learn the hard way. I've lost money from platforms and that, which I'll run through a list of them later. So my background is I came into cryptocurrency during the COVID period. Work colleagues were getting involved in it. I think they had excess money because of the lockdown, so they couldn't go out and spend. I looked at it and I thought it was a great idea. And when I first got into it, was just on Binance. And lo and behold, put some money in, back some coins and watch it go up. It was quite amazing. It certainly gave me some faith that this could be legitimate and it could go where it needed to. And so over the next 6 months, I poured more and more money into it and watched it go up, and I was doing very well. During the Biden administration, they did a crackdown on cryptocurrency, forced Binance to regulate their goings on here in Australia. So my biggest thing was I was always trying to make my money work for me. So I was doing a lot of earn programs where you stake your crypto and earn money. And all this got put on hold. You weren't allowed to do that in Australia anymore under the new regulations. So what to do next? Find another platform that still allows me to stake my money and earn interest, because that was what I was always into. And so I moved over to a place called FTX. Now we know what happened there. So after the big collapse in of the Luna coin depegging, FTX and a lot of the ancillary companies tied in with the FTX collapsed. Now I was part of that, and unfortunately I lost about $10,000 in that. So there's my first lesson. Now in the background, I was trying to learn more and more about cryptocurrency, and I came across a bloke called Richard Heart. And at first he seemed very arrogant, very flamboyant, as you might have guessed, with some of the earlier stuff coming out with his top hats, with him flaunting all of his wealth. And I said to myself, who would let this guy have your money? And that's where I left it. But after the FTX collapse, some of the stuff that he was saying was ringing true. Things like not your keys, not your coins. So the understanding of that, if you don't have a seed phrase, a wallet protected by a seed phrase, then they're not really your coins. And we found this out during FTX. So we were on the platform, and of course the platform went down, so money was lost. Now unfortunately, yes, there has been some payouts for FTX. In our boat, we had about $12,000 at one stage, but after the collapse, this all went down to around about $7,000. So payouts were only $10,000 and above. So yet again, we miss out. The little guy always misses out. So I started listening a little bit more to this Richard Heart and decided that maybe like a sports player, that arrogance is a sign of knowing what's going on and having confidence in what's going on. So after the FTX collapse, I spent 6 months listening to people like Richard Heart and learning as much as I possibly could about blockchain and understanding the full goings on. During this time, I made an educated decision to get my money off of the centralized exchanges like Binance and Gate.io and all those sorts of things, and get them over onto platforms that are protected by a Web3 encrypted wallet that you have the keys to. Your seed phrase is your keys to the wallets. Never give that out. And so over the next few years, I've been pouring money in. Unfortunately, I missed the sacrifice stage for the Pulse chain, but the dummy that I am, I bought a whole lot of HEX and watched that go down when the Pulse chain was released. It is what it is. Everybody that I was following told me not to do it, but I still did. I thought I was going to miss out, but in the end I lost money. I didn't lose it. The money's still there. It just went down in value. And I still believe in the chain. I think it will do really good things in time to come. I think it's going to take a couple of years for this chain to really see its full potential. So that doesn't bother me. I'm in for the long haul. I want to work towards my retirement. I don't have anything in the way of superannuation or 401k, whatever you want to call it. So therefore, if I want to retire, then I'm going to have to work on something that I can retire with. That's why I loved HEX. That's why I love Richard Heart and his products. I still believe that HEX could probably do with more utility work. And this is the type of thing that I've been working towards now. I've been looking at releasing my own coins, and we'll be doing so later. I'll do one today and probably one next week. It's going to be over multiple platforms, and eventually I hope that I can then build something in the background to give these coins utility. At first they're going to be nothing more than meme coins, but I'll hopefully be able to link something. I'd love to do something along the lines of video games, a metaverse, or something along the lines of that. We are looking into all sorts of different things, and we hope that if we can do this and generate money, then this will come back to those coins eventually. That's our goal. So a number of the platforms that I have been testing out and trying to stake money on have let me down terribly. Now, I'm sorry if it offends anybody that I'm going to list some of these places. So first of all, I think it was ALX. I had money staked on ALX, and I can still see it on the blockchain, but I have no access to it because the platform's now shut down. So I don't know where that thing's. And then plus an AXL turned up on Binance as well. So I don't know if they're bought out or what happened, but I can see my tokens on blockchain, but I can't actually get access to them to remove them. So I don't know what the problem is there. Another one was, I think it was Raydium. I had the staking mechanism on Raydium. I had to play with that, and I had a couple of $1,000s in there. And of course, lo and behold, they got hacked, and of course they lost it. So I had over, one of the main things I had was over 1,000 Arbitrum in there, and that was all just taken. And of course, this is the problem with a lot of these crypto sites, is you contact their help teams or support teams, and you get sent off to nothing but like Telegram. Now, I've had a bit of experience with Telegram, and it is nothing more than a cesspit. If anyone out there is linking their help mechanisms to Telegram, then I'm not interested, and I will tell everyone to stay away from those sort of platforms. If you are a true platform, you must have an emailing help feature that you can talk directly to the clients to help them out. Now, I was just pushed off to Telegram, and there was nowhere on their Telegram and their chats that could help me retrieve any of my money. I was just left in the wind. And of course, as soon as you try to talk to anybody, it's nothing but scammers. Another one is a very popular wallet that I support and I've been spruiking, which is the Internet Money Wallet. Now, this is was set up for Pulse Chain to help them out, and they've got a lot of really good features, but they do have their help button takes you to Telegram. And again, got lost in Telegram. The minute I connected to the Telegram, I had 3 phone calls. I'm not talking about people popping up, I'm talking about people directly ring me. And when I tried to explain to them what was happening, bang, my wallet got drained, just like that. That's how quick it happens. And I'd had 2 or 3 years experience and it still happened to me. So again, if it's linked to Telegram, I am not interested, and I will not spruik the products anymore who have their help features linked to that. And this is where I think that the truth of the matter is, these cryptocurrencies and these platforms need to be aware that if they're going to offer a service, they need to be like a more centralized place where they actually have a help desk. If you're going to launch a large platform, you need to seriously think about how you're going to help people, how you're going to make sure the place is secure, and how you're going to protect people's money. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter where you go, there's always someone trying to take your money. As soon as you put it online, there is hundreds of people lining up to take your money instantly. And this is the problem with cryptocurrency. And until they start resolving some of these problems, then the newcomers and average Joe, mum and dad, and investor will not come into this market. I can tell you that now. I have tried and I have tried and I have tried. And as soon as anyone loses money, that's it, they're out. They're not like me, they don't have the conviction. And the other half of the truth is the people that are putting money into cryptocurrency just want to get rich overnight, and that doesn't happen. So what do you need to do? So you need to concentrate on what you're putting your money into. You need to do your research. You need to work out the highs and lows of the cryptocurrency that you're dealing with. You need to look to see if it's secure, whether it's been hacked, whether it's had any leaks or losses. You need to see if the product that you're buying into has some sort of utility. When I say utility, has it got a way of making money? So I like a lot of coins that have utility behind them. So you've heard me spruik in the past, that AOS token. After pulling some of my money off of the crypto exchanges, I poured a lot of that into a token called AOS token, which was very small at the time. It was, I think, 002 or something like that. Now that coin at some point had made it up to $1. And why? Because it has utility behind it. It's a coin-backed platform. So there are nodes all around the world that anyone can download and run from their computer. And this acts like a larger computer. And the rewards go out to those people who are running those nodes. Now, this is the same on Pulse Chain. You can run a node from Pulse Chain. You have to sacrifice some of your coins to be able to do that. I think it's 30 million PLS that you need to put in to be able to do that, if I remember rightly. It may have gone up, so don't quote me on that one. These are the things that you need to take into consideration. This is why Bitcoin and Ethereum have been some of the top performing assets, because they have quite large platforms, and that filters down onto smaller platforms on those platforms, which all bleed back with fees coming in from those platforms. In most case scenarios, I know that Ethereum has been very lackluster this year, hasn't done anything that we thought it might do, which is a shame for the Pulse Chain community, because we are sort of hand in hand backed to Ethereum, because it's a complete split of Ethereum, and our founder Richard Hart is also tied in and bought a lot of Ethereum, so we're sort of bound to it. So when it performs badly, we do too. So if Ethereum should be up around that $5,000 mark, and it hasn't got there, so if that was up there, you'd see the Pulse Chain doing a hell of a lot better. But again, the truth of the matter is, when it comes to the Pulse Chain, is we have had setback after setback after setback. We've had the SEC lawsuit. We've had so much of the main platforms, even the wallets, MetaMask wallet, Rabi wallet, all that sensitize the Pulse Chain platform. You've got a lot of other platforms that will refuse to show how well we're doing or how well we were doing, and this is not good. Not good for the community, because it causes in-house fighting. But I'd like to say out loud that it doesn't matter. I think that we just need to continue building, having faith in the system, and we'll build our own products. We don't need the other people. And if people hate us, just look at the Trump administration. If people hated Trump, but the thing being is he was doing well and he got elected in. If people are hating on something, it's for a reason. It's because they're scared of it. And I think people are scared of the Pulse Chain and what's capable of doing. So they tried to suppress it. They don't want to be it. This is another truth about cryptocurrency, is people buy a product, say like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and they turn into what they call maxis, is they will only believe in Bitcoin, or they'll only believe in Ethereum or Solana or ADA or any of those sorts of things. And the simple truth of it is they are only like that because they want you to buy more of their coin so their coin goes up. That's the simple truth. Everybody wants it. If you hold a coin, you want everyone else to buy it so they can make you rich. Now, we had a very similar case to this, and this is the complete truth. Here in Australia during the elections, one of the senators who I was following and backing, Senator Rennick, wasn't a big fan of Bitcoin because, let's face it, Bitcoin, as much as it's done very well and it's a great idea for investors, it doesn't have a backing. If for any reason the Satoshi wallet became live and active, or someone like BlackRock decided that they were going to pull the plug on their ETFs, then you watch how fast Bitcoin goes back down. Now, for a government point of view, that is not stable enough. And I wouldn't want it as part of my government legislation to be holding too much of that, because if you poured billions of dollars of your country's money into something like Bitcoin and then it halved overnight, you lost half your country's money. You need a stable, countries need to be working on a stable, sustainable solution. So I believe that I would love to see it go back to a gold-backed standard, but using blockchain as well. So you would have gold based in your country that backed your dollar, and then you would have a digital version of your dollar backed by the gold-backed dollar. Therefore, it stabilizes everything, and the only way you would ever have to move the gold is if your country went bankrupt or it collapsed or depegged for some bloody reason. But if you're careful and smart about it, then that couldn't happen, especially in a place like Australia, because we have so many minerals and stuff that we could back a currency by. That shouldn't be happening. We don't need to invest in things like Bitcoin and stuff like that when we should be investing in our own. And I was right with Senator Rennick with this one. He copped a lot of backlash because he didn't believe that Bitcoin has real value. A lot of people disagree because they hold Bitcoin and they want you to buy it so it goes up to make them rich. That's the truth. So anyone spruiking any one coin is only because they hold that coin and they want you to buy more of it to make them wealthier. Simple truth. So you have to look past that. You have to look what's going to work for you. So I suggest that you do a deep dive, like I did, and buy into things that you think have a future. This is why I'm in Pulse Chain, because I believe it has a future. I think that it might take a few years to get there, and this is deterring a lot of people and causing a lot of anguish within the community because these people want money to go up now. It's as broad-minded as that. They need it to see the dollar go up, otherwise they are getting cranky. I understand that, but what we need to do is work towards the future. So within, say, 2 to 5 years, we see some significant movements from that chain. We are still young, and we need to maybe start building things on chain that can use the burn mechanisms, give the token some utility, and that's what I'll be working towards. So when I launch my coins, they'll be just meme coins to start with, and anyone can buy them and sit on them and do whatever they want to them. But eventually, I hope, if I can do it, that I will try to build stuff that will actually give these coins utility. So down track, if I can do it in the next couple of years and build something that actually earns money, then that money will be directed back into those coins and buy and burn them, and which will send those coins up. So that's what you need to look for. You need to look for coins that have utility, blockchains that have a future. You need to be smart about what is going on. Talking about anything that has to do with Telegram as a backing is not a good idea. Like one that I will spruik is Coast for Pulse Chain, which is a direct bank on-ramp. Now, they had a bit of downtime, and when they come back with a few things that weren't working right, sent them an email, they corrected it, bounced back the email between the two of us, got it all sorted. Brilliant, loved it. So, that's a big tick in the box. It feels like my money's safe. But when you go onto the Telegram, and as soon as you hit Telegram and put in your problem and, 10 people are contacting you and trying to get you off that chain for private chats, it's all scam. Everything's a scam. So why don't we have a better system in place for that? Why don't we have a more unique and secure place for that we can go in with our wallets and link? So there's an idea for you guys over on Internet Money Wallet. That's an idea for you guys. Why don't you link into something that is more private, that you can have your members still contact directly and bypass those scammers? Because at the moment, it's just a scam fest. Even people that had a little experience, like myself, still managed to lose their wallet, just trying to solve a simple problem. And it didn't happen once; it happened twice. The second time I reached out and I was aware of it, but there was no resolve for what actually happened in the wallet, which is just a transfer using the new mechanisms in the transfer phase for change. The new mechanisms change. When the money went over, it wouldn't show on the totals. That was like 4 or 5 days. Now I reached out to community via Telegram, and there was a lot of backwards and forwards, but we got nowhere. There was no real resolve, and everyone thought I was silly because they couldn't work it out. But yet, I virtually had to take that Internet Money wallet and transfer it over to Rabi Wallet, import it over there for it to show up. That's the extent I had to go to. So if people can't relay problems back to you properly, and so that you can actually see that there's bugs in the system, then you're not going to fix those bugs. So that's just the kind word of advice for you guys. Love your products, but you just got to sort out some of those bugs and maybe have a good think about how you can have a support crew in the background that's safe and secure for those people coming through. Then we can spruik your wallet a hell of a lot more to those people coming through to let them know that they're safe. But for people who are just trying to work out stuff, it's not good. And that's simple truth. I'm not mad at anybody or anything because I'm still learning all this stuff myself, and I understand I made mistakes. But it is the truth, and you need a secure thing. Maybe if you go and look at the setup that Coast has and how they work, maybe you can do something similar if you have the ability to do so, or come up with your own version, but it needs to be secure. And that's the same with any platform out there. If you're releasing a platform and it just linked to a fan base on Telegram, there's so many scammers out there, it is unreal. So the other bit of truth I'll give you today is the extent of some of these scams. They will develop whole websites that look like the website that you're trying to connect to do a transaction or swap or something else like that. I come across one of these through SparkSwap. It wouldn't let me connect, so I forced connection and I clicked on the button, and lo and behold, as soon as I clicked the button, it drained my wallet. Now, luckily, this was only a dummy wallet that I was doing a tutorial and showing how people to swap money over through SparkSwap, and it got $50 out of me. So, and I deleted that wallet, and that's that one gone. So that's something else to be very, very aware of, that there are people out there that will develop websites that look identical. This happens on social media as well, where you get so many different accounts coming through claiming Donald Trump and Elon Musk and they're all this, but unless they got that big blue tick beside their name, then they're not worth looking at. They're just nothing more than scammers. And this goes for the same when it comes to the blockchains and websites as well. You have to make sure 100% you're on the right chains. This is the advantage that centralized exchanges have over the decentralized blockchains, that they have the ability to hone and keep everyone inside. But even though people feel safe on those platforms, they're not as safe because they don't own their key. So that's the other thing that is confusing for a lot of people. But in the decentralized land, it's so unsafe because you can go to what you think is the blockchain or platform that you're trying to connect to, and it just drains your wallet just like that. There's no safety there. And this is one of the other big spruiks that I'll give Richard Hart and the Pulse Chain and Hex community, is simply as that he has done downloadables. Now, I've done a tutorial on this, so you can always go back and check that out, which you can actually run from your PC. So therefore, you know that the link is secure because it's on your PC, and you can update these at any time you want. You can also create a dummy wallet to connect to these things if you're worried about it. I think the other big thing that people need to do and understand is we need to work more towards having cold storage wallets that are not online, so they're safe, that they can't be hacked. I think the biggest problem for the future is that I'm understanding is quantum computing, that they believe that these quantum computers will be able to hack any of these seed phrases. So people are feeling very unsettled about that and the future of cryptocurrency. So that's the truth as well. So be diligent, do your research, make sure you're on safe platforms, make sure you're on the right platform, and Only invest what you can afford, remember that. Now finally, today I'll keep it separate from this video. I'll be releasing my own coin and showing you how to do that. I'm going to do this on Pump Tires, on the PulseChain blockchain. I'm going to do a meme coin over there, show you the process of it. I'll do a live capture. So go and check that one out afterwards if you want to see that being done. And I'll see how I go with that. I'll see if I can actually get the thing promoted and actually launched on the blockchain without spending too much of my own money. Hopefully people get them behind it and buy a little bit of it. I think we need to get at least 200 million PLS transfers or action before it will graduate onto the actual PulseChain, onto PulseX swap. So let's see how we go. For now, safe trading, guys.